I want to talk to you today about a couple of things about brakes and why they make noises and what noises are okay noises and what noises aren't so good. But let me start off by saying if you ever think that it's making the wrong noise or you think that your brakes aren't right, you should always get them checked out. You always err on the side of caution where brakes are concerned. Having said that, okay, the basic system to any brake system in the front in particular is what they call rotors. This is a common rotor. It goes over the wheel studs and turns at exactly the same speed as the wheel. And over this rotor are a set of what they call brake pads. I'm sure you've all heard of what a brake pad is, right? And what basically the brake pads fit in what's called a caliper, which looks like an overhead finger like I'm holding. And when you squeeze your brakes, it squeezes the pads on the rotor to stop your car. That's a very simplistic view, but that's basically what happens. Now that you know how a basic brake or a disc rotor system works, now we're going to tell you what happens when things go wrong. First of all, in order for there to be no noise from any type of brakes, regardless of the kind of pads or the kind of car you're driving or whatever, both surfaces have to be absolutely smooth. Smooth as a piece of paper, as two pieces of paper touching each other. If they're not that smooth, you will get noise. You'll get a metal-to-metal noise. You probably won't get a grinding noise, but you'll get a high-pitched shrill. In some cases, if it's not absolutely smooth, it would still pass the safety because you have lots of pad and lots of rotor, but you will get noise, and either you live with it or you change over to all new parts and the noise will go away. Okay? But only a technician can tell you whether or not the brakes are acceptable, and then again you have to decide whether you want to live with the noise. People change their pads often. They have to realize that the rotors wear as well, and they have to change their rotors as well. And in Manitoba, because of the moisture that we get, a lot of times the inside rotors, which you can't see from the outside through your wheel, will get rusted, and you'll only have your pad making a certain amount of contact, and that'll make a lot of noise as well, and that means that the brake should be changed too. A typical brake job on most vehicles would run anywhere from $225 to $300, taxes included. Okay? This is, for example, a full brake pad, and this is a brake pad with no lining on it that is completely worn, and you can see a difference. As a matter of fact, these are what's called squealers, and these brake pads would have been making a noise, forcing the customer to come here. I would say they had 0 days left before they needed to be changed. We're joking, but brakes are, this is also a brake pad. Now you see it's got a little bit of lining versus a full brake pad. So you can see the difference between new and when they need to be replaced. Okay? How they're replaced, the technician that replaces them, makes a big difference to whether you have noise or not, whether the caliper pins are lubricated, the way they're scored in like we should be the first ones to take the drive before you do to make sure the brakes seat properly. That type of thing is important, and you should be careful in the shop that you choose to do that. Hopefully you'll give us the nod. The other noise that people get with brakes is a lot of times with moisture, you're driving your car, it's 30 above outside or +3, +2 Celsius, and you'll notice that when you come back in the morning, you can see through your wheels that your rotors have turned red. That's because you turned the car off hot, there's a lot of moisture, and there will be a little bit of corrosion. So when you back up, and the first couple times you'll hear a noise, and then the noise goes away. Basically, that's a very acceptable brake noise. All your brakes are doing is cleaning off the rotors first thing in the morning. They get to be clean. There's nothing to do. There's no parts to buy. Very common, a lot of cars in this area, when they hit their second or third set of brakes, that they will start making this kind of noise. And if it goes away after you start driving in the first 3-4 minutes, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Again, if you are worried, err on the side of caution. Always get brakes checked out. No one should ever poo-poo you on a set of brakes.